ready to get this show on the road.
The catchphrase of all catchphrases.
Jim Harbaugh, man. All right, so Michigan, they lose once again to Ohio State. Not only did they lose, they got their behinds beat. And I want to say, we gotta keep the second mic on, Rob. We gotta keep the second mic on because of the first mic.
I got you.
The feedback.
See, the way I look at it is he's a good coach. He wins a lot of games. He's got an overall record of 47-17. He's 32-12 in the Big Ten. But when he plays Ohio State, he's 0-5.
0-5.
And that's the big rivalry game between those two schools. And I feel like they hired him to win that game. They did. And I'm not saying he should be fired because he's a very successful coach.
Yes, sir.
He's been there for 5 seasons. He's 10-3 in 2015, 10-3 in 2016, 8-5, 10-3, 9-3. He's got winning records every single year. It's just that he always has that one big game that he needs to win, and it just doesn't win. It doesn't happen.
Me personally, man, I think the brother should get the hammer like MC Hammer. I'm not gonna lie.
You're fired!
Simply because you have to win the big game. You have to win the big game. Me, I'm of the mindset, if I bring you here, it's to get a job. Honestly, be Ohio State. That's it. That's your rival. You think about Cortland Ithaca. Cortland can have a spectacular year, right? They can win almost every game. But if they lose to Ithaca, it doesn't make sense anymore. It's like, all right, the season is a failure. So it's sort of like the season that they had. They almost won every game. They lost a game. Going into the Ithaca game, they lost that game and it made no sense. When in college football, to me, college sports is about rivalries. And if you can't beat your rival, you shouldn't be there, man.
Well, the way I look at it, it's a preference. Because in my case, and the way I'm looking at it is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I know that he's losing the game to Ohio State, and I feel like this year Ohio State, that team's probably the best Ohio State team we've seen in a long time, and possibly ever. But it's really it goes to the athletic director of, do you want to have that consistency of winning and having a winning record, or do you want to beat Ohio State and have that winning record? And I'm just nervous that if they do fire him, then that program might drop.
But I would say this to you. Since Ohio State has been good for the last couple of years, chances are you beat Ohio State, your record is going to be good. Because you're going to be a good team if you beat Ohio State. So I think they can be both in the same boat. Because you're not going to beat Ohio State if you're a bad team. They showing that they
shouldn't beat Ohio State. You shouldn't beat Ohio State. Yeah. It could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen. You see
Syracuse. But if you're a good, decent team, then chances are you're going to beat Ohio State, I would assume.
Yeah, they are for sure.
But you lose to them back-to-back years in blowout fashion. They put a 56 on you this year. The year before that, 60-something points.
It's embarrassing.
They get embarrassed. I mean, they brought Jim Harbaugh there to win the big games. And they haven't done so. They haven't won the big games. To me, he had expectations on him that was different.
Yes, he did, because he come from the NFL. You have exactly. A lot of higher expectations, which I do agree that he should be winning that big game. But the way that I look at it is it's a preference. Do you want to win consistently, or do you want to take that risk and hope that you have a good coach come in that can win and do both? I mean, I'm just nervous that if they do fire him, they do get rid of him, who's the next man up, and can he hold that standard? If you look at Jim Harbaugh's getting paid $7.5 million a year, okay? Ohio State's coach Ryan Day is getting paid $4.5. That's $3 million less. Is the money worth it? That's my question to the Michigan administration, and I don't think it is, unless he can start turning it around. But I don't know. That's a hard question. It's a hard question.
When you look at Michigan, I'm gonna stay in Michigan. I'm gonna stay on the campus of Michigan, even though we don't simply call it right now. I'm gonna stay on the campus of Michigan, but I'm gonna go over to the men's section, the men's basketball team, right? You look at the Michigan in the men's basketball team, and Jerron Howard, that was a coach that was recently signed this year, right? There were high expectations for him. A good coach, member of the Fab Five. They were not on Jim Harbaugh's level, but it was high expectations. Yeah. They started the season unranked. Then guess what? They came this year, they beat Gonzaga. They blew out Gonzaga, 82-64. That was ranked number 9. Gonzaga was ranked number 9, right? They beat UNC, North Carolina. We already know they one of the top teams. They beat them, 73-64. So they've been in those big games. So, and they play in Louisville right now. That's ranked number 1. Obviously, they're getting the behinds beat right now. But, before that, they were doing good.
Can I be honest with you?
So, you know what? At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying with Jim Harbaugh. You're supposed to win those big games. That's why you did. And he's not doing it.
Talking about Michigan basketball, I don't think that's his team. This is his first year. He's still coming off the old coach who was a legend at Michigan.
He was.
And so the way I'm looking, I mean, you look at when John Gruden, when he started coaching the Buccaneers, he won the Super Bowl about a year or two in, and a lot of people said, well, it's not John Gruden's team. It was the coach before that team. That's the way I'm sort of looking at it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope he does continue his success. I hope he does do very well at Michigan, but it's the fact of holding that consistency, winning, holding that standard, and we'll see how this coach plays out. But Jim Harbaugh, it has held that standard for 5+ years, and of course, he's not winning the big game, but that's where it's a preference thing for the athletic director. And in my case, you've swayed me. I'm not gonna lie, you have swayed me where I do feel like maybe he should be let go. 1, for the money, and 2, for he's lost. He's 0-5 to Ohio State.
Exactly.
He's 1-3 in his bowl games.
Exactly.
And his first bowl game he won was in 2015. He hasn't won one since.
And they haven't made the college football playoff once.
Exactly. And so you swayed me. I do agree with you on that. I do. He should be fired.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I just swayed the judges. Final four playoff predictions. Obviously, they had a ranking today. They had the new list today, but next Sunday will be the final one. And since we're not going to be here next Sunday, we might as well say who we think is going to be those last 4 teams that will make the college football playoff. Luke, can you take it that way for me?
See, for me, for number 1.
Recognition.